Hello, it's Grandma Ray. I love children, I love books, and I especially love reading books to children. That's why in this video, I'm reading and recommending A Jonah Day. This book is written and illustrated by Phil A. Smouse. Here we go. The Lord's word to Jonah came quite unexpected. Go down to Nineveh, you've been elected. Tell all the people there without delay this thing that I tell you to tell them today. So there's Jonah just sitting around waiting. And God talks to him. Nineveh, goodness, of all the places, those Ninevites all have the nastiest faces. They're rude and they're crude, and I'd have to conclude they're an ill-tempered brood of the worst magnitude. But I guess that I'll do it. It is on my way. Now what is it, Lord, that you want me to say? So there he is. He's getting ready to go on a trip. He's going to go where God tells him to go. Thus says the Lord, this is what you should say. Listen up, or I may have to ruin your day. You're all mean and you're nasty and not very nice, and those are your good points to be more precise. For I mean what I say, and I am quite sincere when I tell you I smell you the whole way up here. Tell that to them? You must be mistaken. You certainly can't expect me to partake in a dreadful, impossible scheme, Jonah spat, like the one you're suggesting, and that, Lord, is that. Uh-oh, Jonah doesn't want to do what God's called him to do. How awful, how shocking, how horribly harshish, he thought as he boarded a boat bound for Tarshish. And down in the very most bottomest part, Jonah laid there alone, just himself and his heart. Jonah laid in that boat and he thought, but he just couldn't do what he knew that he ought. Now you can't run away from the Lord. Jonah knew it, but he was about to find out what occurs when you do it. Uh-oh. He's going to find out what happens when you try to run away from God. The weather started getting rough. The tiny ship was tossed. A tempest blew. The boat's crew flew. The thunder boomed. We're surely doomed, they all presumed, to be consumed here by this Holocaust. All hands on deck, the captain shouted out. And Jonah, you get up here too, because if I am not mistaken, this earthquaking is the making of the likes of you. Uh-oh. There the captain's calling him up on deck. The crew drew straws to figure out just who should be ejected for causing this calamity to which they'd been subjected. The shortest straw would tell them who, and as he had predicted, the captain watched with no surprise as good old Jonah picked it. He caught the smallest straw. They're going to have to throw him overboard. That was the decision. Okay, it's all my fault. Just throw me out. The storm will stop. You heard the man. Let's throw him in, the sailors shouted with a grin. Yes, bon voyage and tally-ho. Let's pick him up and heave him ho. Wait a minute, not so fast, the captain shouted, flabbergasted. Let's try again. Let's make the shore. Now grab your oars and row some more. Stroke, 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 stroke. But they simply couldn't do it. Uh-oh. So they tried. So they threw him out into it. And all at once the thunder stopped. The sea grew calm. The sun came out. What God did Jonah so betray to cause this startling display where even wind and waves obey? That's right. The God Jonah serves. Pretty powerful God. Now deeper and deeper he found himself sinking, which prompted old Jonah to do some rethinking. "Oh Lord," Jonah cried, "have you left me for dead? The waves and the waters encircle my head. Barnacles clutch at my fingers and toes, and some wet wiggly thing is attached to my nose. Oh, there's nothing, I'm sure, quite so dreadful as this. There he is. He's down in the water where all of the sea creatures are, except being swallowed alive by a fish. Uh-oh. He's being swallowed alive. Inside of a fish. Oh, of all the places. Of all the dreadful, disgraceful disgraces. I'll do what you ask, Lord. I'll do it your way. I'll do it right now, right this minute, today. So that fish spat up Jonah right there on the beach, and the minute it did, Jonah started to preach. So there he is inside of the fish. That would be a stinky place to be, wouldn't it? 40 more days, says the Lord. It's a fact. You've got 40 short days left to clean up your act. For you're mean and you're nasty and not very nice. And those are your good points, to be more precise. Yes, I mean what I say, and I am quite sincere when I tell you I smell you the whole way up here. Is that clear? So he's talking to the people in Nineveh. And he's telling them what the Lord told him to say. Now everyone there, from the king straight on down, was convinced that this guy wasn't fooling around. So they cleaned up their hearts. Yes, they cleaned up their act, and they cleaned it up quick, as a matter of fact. But 40 days passed, and then 41, and the Lord didn't do what he said would be done. So he didn't destroy them. But remember, they cleaned up their act. Lord, what's going on there? I look like a goof. You said you'd destroy them. Now give me some proof. Proof, my friend Jonah? You don't understand. All of creation is at my command. And no matter how angry or hurtful or mean, unfaithful, unworthy, or selfish you've been, I'll never reject you or turn you away, for I love you so deeply, I barely can say. I'm waiting, just waiting, to open my hands. So God said that he wants us to come to him. And that's why I gave them and you one more chance. So he said if they didn't do what he said, they'd be destroyed. But they did what he said, so they didn't have to be destroyed. If you or your grown-ups want more information about this book, you'll find it in the show notes so that you can get a copy of your own. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll join me again sometime. Bye-bye.